We bring you the morning edition of MBC News with me, Obile Kaisa. Coming up. President Mutharika says his administration remains deeply committed to delivering essential development to benefit every constituency in the country. Transport Minister calls for increased infrastructure investment in Africa. And Dodma says the 43 million kwacha search and rescue boat to boost disaster response in Chikwawa. And now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says his administration remains deeply committed to delivering essential development to benefit every constituency in the country. President Mutharika made the remarks when he met the mayor of Blantyre City, His Worship Councillor Isaac Jomo Osman. Details in this report.
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says the meeting with the Blantyre City Mayor discussed how the central government and the City Council could work together to restore the glory of the country's cities, including the commercial city of Blantyre. The meeting also discussed the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and how it can be utilized to improve sanitation and road infrastructure, specifically rehabilitating the Kameza-Chireka Road. The Malawi leader furthermore reiterated his administration's commitment to delivering essential development, saying this is why his government has allocated 5 billion kwacha for development, benefiting every constituency in the country.
Meanwhile, President Mutharika has awarded 2 outstanding ICT innovators for their exceptional contribution to promoting inclusive education and strengthening secondary school learning resources. Minister of Information and Digitalization, Shadrack Namalomba, says the President remains committed to driving digital transformation and encouraging homegrown solutions to challenges affecting communities across different sectors while advancing the digital economy. Emmanuel Chikonso reports.
Minister of Information and Communications Technology, Shadrack Namalomba, says President Mutharika fully supports innovation, describing it as the path Malawi must take to solve its own challenges through local talent and expertise. Namalomba says the message is consistent from the President to Cabinet Ministers and other stakeholders that innovation is key to unlocking economic growth, especially at a time when reliance on agriculture alone as a source of foreign exchange is gradually declining.
Imagine the future of tomorrow. Yes, we have had tobacco to rely on, tea to rely on. But these products, have they changed our fortune? The answer would be yes, but also maybe no. And going into the future, do you think that we can still rely on them? No. The future is technology. The future is innovation.
Speaking after presenting the awards to 2 top innovators selected from 20 finalists honored during the 2026 National ICT Innovations Awards, Macra Director General Mayami Konkoloma emphasized the need for an intersectoral task force to track, nurture, and support innovations so that they do not fade away.
We are looking at a cross-cutting stakeholder kind of framework whereby we have key experts in each and every important sector of the innovation ecosystem, so that these experts, these innovators that we have unveiled today, their innovations can go beyond borders, not only Malawi, but beyond.
The winning innovators, who will represent Malawi at international level, encouraged young people to rise up and use ICT innovation to create meaningful change.
Let's keep on doing these things. Let's channel our energy into things that are more productive.
I am proud that even Macra was able to honor a localized innovation that is going to not only empower Malawians, but other countries as well can be able to adopt it.
This is also an opportunity, and it also empower other people in communities that it's also their, they can also do something to solve the challenges that the communities encounter.
Out of 260 entries submitted, 20 innovations were recognized for being scalable, accessible, inclusive, and tailored, among others, to addressing Malawi's challenges. The innovations span sectors such as education, agriculture, climate change and technological advancement. Emmanuel Chikonso, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government says it has placed nutrition at the center of its development agenda, recognizing that a well-nourished population is essential for achieving Malawi 2063. Secretary for Health and Sanitation, Dan Namarika, was speaking in Salima district during an interface meeting with nutrition teams from across the country. Margaret Mapando has more in this report.
Secretary for Health and Sanitation, Dan Namarika, says while the country previously noted improvements in stunting rates, the figures have now risen with anemia cases increasing among females of reproductive age. He noted that malnutrition levels vary across the country and called for clarity on how different councils are tackling nutrition issues among vulnerable groups.
The people that we're meeting here from the councils and the districts are our foot soldiers in as far as nutrition is concerned. So we would like to listen to them, hear their stories where they are doing well, but also the challenges they are facing in advancing the nutrition agenda across government.
A nutritionist at Mzimba District Health Office, Eliza Ginola, says the focus should not stop at stunting and wasting, adding that other nutrition indicators, including overweight and obesity, are alarming and fueling non-communicable diseases.
It's high time that we also need to address some of the things that are also taking a lot of lives, talking about the elderly, talking about the mothers and the fathers out there, things to do with overweight and things to do obesity, which are also leading to high blood pressures, leading to diabetes. So I think to my capacity, I'm also going to mobilize and also to sensitize the community also to look into those issues.
The Department of Nutrition in the Ministry of Health and Sanitation has convened a two-day meeting with district nutrition teams drawn from across the country. Margaret Mabando, MBC News, Salima.
Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture has announced plans to construct a 70 billion kwacha Arts and Culture Center aimed at boosting creativity and protecting intellectual property in Malawi. Speaking in Lilongwe during commemorations for World Book and Copyright Day, Line Minister Alfred Gangata said protecting creative works is vital to human capital development, hence the initiative. From Lilongwe, Emmanuel Chikonso reports.
Gangata said authors, musicians and other creatives continue to drive social progress through their talent and innovation, making it essential to safeguard their work and ensure they are fairly rewarded. The Director of Arts and Culture, Humphrey Pondaminga, said the ministry has already introduced measures to strengthen copyright protection and secure creative ideas, with the proposed 70 billion kwacha Arts and Culture Center among the key initiatives.
We have a proposed infrastructure project, that's the National Arts and Culture Center, which will see construction of 4 national facilities, including a national theatre and a national school for arts. This year, we are about to advertise it so that we get consultants to do the designs. And we look forward that once it's done, like the PS has said, we will have better facilities to showcase the arts and culture.
Copyright Society of Malawi Kosoma Executive Director Dora Makwinja said the organization is intensifying awareness campaigns to help creatives understand how to protect their works and benefit from their ideas.
So we have many other activities that we intend to reach out to the general public. So a number of programs will be carried out in this financial year, and you will see all of them aimed at raising awareness of copyright, but also for the rights holders, the people that create these copyright works should know the importance of what they do.
This year's World Book and Copyright Day celebrations attracted authors, musicians, and other players in the creative industry and started with a road show from Lilongwe Community Ground to Civil Stadium. Emmanuel Chikonso, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government is assuring farmers that it is engaging tobacco buyers to understand the basis behind the high rejection rate of the leaf at the auction floor. Agriculture Minister Rosa Mbilizi has given the assurance during the opening of the Limbi auction floors in Blantyre. Erlin Chimoyo has details in this report.
Since the onset of the marketing season, high volumes of tobacco have been rejected at auction floors, raising concerns among farmers and government authorities. For example, at Limbi, out of 100 bales presented at the open auction, only 3 were purchased. According to the minister, this situation is worrying and requires an urgent solution.
I've assured the farmers that the president and my ministry is working very hard to make sure that all that tobacco is sold. And I've told them that we are a government, and the government will always find a solution. And as we are engaging the buyers on a one-to-one basis to find out what is wrong on the market. But at the same time, I should also hasten to say that as much as the farmers are complaining that it's not about the quality, it's not about the grading, I've seen with my own eyes that in certain circumstances the grading is not that good, and that's why I was saying that maybe we need to work very hard in my ministry to make sure that our extension services are up to date.
Commenting on the continued rejections, President of the Tobacco Association of Malawi, Tama Abel Kalima Banda, made a passionate appeal for intervention from government.
On the auction, it's sorry here that the total consignment, only 3 or 4 barrels have been bought. This is not good for a farmer because as time goes, the grade might change. Changing of the grade, it means even the price itself also will change. And the loser is a farmer. So it's my prayer to all relevant authorities, including government, to find other means so that the tobacco on auction can be bought.
As the Limbi market opened, a total of 994 bales were brought to the floors, of which over 700 were under contract. Overall, the country has so far generated $2.4 million from 1.1 million kilograms of tobacco since the opening of the marketing season. Elin Chimoyo, NBC News, Blantyre.
This is NBC News with me, Upili Kaisa. A reminder of our top stories this morning. President Mutharika says his administration remains deeply committed to delivering essential development to benefit every constituency in the country. Transport Minister calls for increased infrastructure investment in Africa. And Dodma says the 43 million kwacha search and rescue boat to boost disaster response in Chikwawa. Welcome back. Minister of Transport and Public Works, Jabe Mhango, has challenged African countries to invest more in transport systems by, among others, intensifying road construction and rehabilitation, but also investing in other modes of transport, such as rail and maritime. Mhango made the remarks in Salimo district when he opened the 19th Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport for Africa Forum. Isaac Jali with the details.
Delegates from over 10 African countries and other international dignitaries have converged in the Lakeshore district of Salima to discuss ways of enhancing transport and logistics on the continent for seamless transportation of goods and services. Opening the conference, Minister of Transport and Public Infrastructure, Jabe Mhango, called for more inclusive, resilience, and sustainable transport system on the continent, saying connectivity is crucial for improved trade among land-linked countries such as Malawi. Realizing the critical role of good roads, Mhango said government of Malawi continues to prioritize road infrastructure modernization, railway revitalization, airport infrastructure enhancement, but more importantly, investing in inland water transport development on Lake Malawi.
In the DPP manifesto, the president has always been very clear in terms of how we modernize transport and logistics in this country. The starting point is good roads, an efficient rail system, an efficient airport transport system, and an efficient maritime transport system. These are the catalysts for economic development, and they align very well with the DPP manifesto. What do we intend? We believe that if we have got a properly harmonized transport system, the cost of doing business will be much cheaper. Much cheaper because there will be efficiency in the system.
For his part, Ibrahim Jibril, Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport International Vice President and Chairperson for Africa, said the transport sector contributes 10% of the global GDP. He therefore said it is important for African governments to formulate policies that support the agenda of an improved transport and logistics in Africa. He also emphasized the need to automate or digitize the logistics system for more efficiency.
The operators are there, the regulators are there, and every other player in the industry is supposed to be brought into one group, one chain of logistics, transport and supply industry, so that we can collectively handle the challenges, infrastructural challenges in the aviation industry, in the road industry, in the maritime industry, in the pipeline industry, and in the logistics industry.
Cuthbert Chinguo is the national president for the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport in Malawi and thanked the collaboration that exists between government and the organization. He also commended government for demonstrating the will to migrate from too much dependency on road transport to other modes.
First and foremost, we are grateful to the Minister of Transport and Public Works because of the collaboration that we are enjoying. So we want to work hand in hand with government to try and provide better transport and logistics solutions to Malawi, which will actually unlock our landlocked country, reduce the challenges that we face as a landlocked country, but also to reduce the costs for transporting goods and people between Malawi and other countries.
The three-day conference has drawn participants from Ghana, Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Egypt, the Ivory Coast, and host Malawi. Isaac Jari, MBC, Salima.
Minister of Natural Resources Patricia Whiskas says government has plans to establish feed-making machines to maximize profits from fish production. Whiskas made the remarks after visiting Lusangazi Integrated Fish Cooperative in Mzimba District. Blessings Gondwe has the report.
Lusangazi Fish Farmers Cooperative is making strides in aquaculture in Mzimba as the group produces 8 tons of fish a year from its 72 ponds. That is why Natural Resources Minister Patricia Whiskas was impressed after seeing that they have reached a stage of not just producing fresh fish but also fish cake and powder. However, it was discovered that farmers are facing the problem of high prices of imported fish feed. The minister said government plans to establish feed-making machines and ensuring that the installed machine in Mzuzu is operational in order to reduce fish feed cost.
There's a challenge of fish feed production in Malawi. Most of the fish feed that we are using, that our farmers are using, is coming from our neighboring countries, which is actually also depleting our forex reserve. As government, though, we have plans to ensure that we plant our own fish feed mills in order to ensure that the fish feed is producing locally. Once this is produced locally, once this is done, we believe it will actually bring down the cost of production for fish farming, particularly cognizant of the fact that fish feed takes up most of the capital in the fish production line.
GIZ Country Director Inga Bonga said German government will continue supporting Malawi with fish processing skills through the Sustainable Aquatic Project.
Our team is working all over the country, now in 18 districts, with different fish farmers, with cooperatives, with the departments in the different districts. And this has already a huge potential to grow further. But in these 18 districts, we see that there's really a growth forward for the farmers and for the communities, and also at the market. There's a lot of value that can be gained, and it can grow even further. So as you said, there's a lot of potential here in Malawi, but you have to tap into the potential and nurture it together.
Chairperson of Lusangazi Fish Farmers Cooperative, Janet Mwasinga, said the project is helping them create wealth and food for their households. The 60-member cooperative started in 2005 and is supported by GIZ and Agriculture Commercialization, AGCOM. Blessings Gondwe, MBC News, Mzimba.
The Public-Private Partnership Commission, PPPC, says it will tour the country so as to identify and finance innovative flagship projects which can help to improve living standards of Malawians while also elevating the youth. Chairperson of PPPC, Joseph Nagoli, said this in Lilongwe when officials from the PPPC visited some projects that have benefited from the Malawi Digital Project. Nagoli said they realized that innovative projects can help to uplift lives and at the same time build the capacity of others. From Lilongwe, Patrick Dambola reports.
The Digital Malawi project is being implemented by the Public-Private Partnership Commission, PPPC, through the Ministry of Information and Digitalization. As such, officials from the PPPC visited some beneficiaries of the project around Lilongwe. Nkwiji Secondary School was one such place because it is one of the 530 sites which was given free internet connection. Headmistress of the school, Gloria Oziasi, told MPC that since the internet connection, there has been a transformative impact because both teachers and learners have digital learning materials.
When you look at the results of MSCE for the past 2 years, we've registered a significant improvement because in 2024 we had 88% for MSCE, and we sent 30 students to different public universities. And well, in 2025 we registered 95.4% for MSCE, and the number of students that have been selected to various universities are 70 in total.
Under the Digital Malawi project, outstanding innovators are given a grant of $2,500 from the World Bank. M-Hub is one place which is promoting innovation, especially among the youth. Chief Executive Officer Elijah Nkandawire says promotion of digital skills is vital, especially in this era of technology.
Everybody needs to have at least a basic skill of digital usage. So digital literacy is quite focal, it's quite important at this particular point in time. More especially, we talk about the little youths, and that's what exactly we are doing. We are going into remotest areas like Chitipa, training young people on how they can use computer, on how they can become digital entrepreneurs.
Chairperson of the PPPC, Joseph Nagoli, said the government is targeting 80 to 100% internet penetration by 2030. Hence, the Commission will emphasize on identification of innovative flagship projects.
What we've seen here is so impressive. I mean, from what we saw, students accessing internet, we've also seen how entrepreneurs that have gone through the digital skills development are able, number one, to sustain themselves, but also even to build capacity for others. I felt that was very, very impressive.
The Malawi Digital Project aims at increasing access to affordable and high-quality internet services, while at the same time promoting innovations that can help to improve the quality of life among Malawians. Patrick Dambula, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Malawi Red Cross Society says it will continue supporting government in its disaster response programs. President of Malawi Red Cross Society, Innocent Majia, was speaking at a handover ceremony of the search and rescue boat worth 43 million kwacha to the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DOTMA, in Chikwawa. We have a joint report by Hamida Kazembe and Telson Magombo.
The donation made with assistance from the World Meteorological Organization is aimed at strengthening immediate disaster response in Chikwawa district. Speaking when handing over the boat, President of the Red Cross Society of Malawi, Innocent Majia, said the boat will create a line of defense against floods and cyclones among the communities.
But what matters most is the equipment, the materials that we are using in order to soften the whole process. Here in Chikwawa, we had the office, we had the human resource, but what was lacking was good equipment. So today we are very happy with this collaboration that we are bringing in that remaining part of the equipment, the materials, to be used in the process of rescue process. Chihuahua has been a district, a prone district with a lot of hardships. They had challenges in terms of response to disasters.
According to the Commissioner for the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DOTMA, Wilson Molen, the board will help to swiftly respond to delivery of relief items as well as search and rescue operations in high-risk waters.
I'm also excited by our own decision to designate this port and reposition it in Chikwawa. This will make our search and rescue more efficient. Previously, we would move boats, maybe the Marine Police would bring boats from Monkey Bay. Of course, we do have boats around here in Bangula, which is our humanitarian staging area that we are running with the WFP, but boats designated at district council level. We have emphasized that, and the council has assured us that they will look after the equipment to ensure that we are more prepared for the next rainy season and the rainy seasons that will come.
The boat is expected to be standby at Chikwawa District Council for immediate operations.
And finally, in sports, the Super League of Malawi Sulum says it will go ahead with hosting the FDH Bank Premiership opener at Kamuzu Stadium, despite the Football Association of Malawi FAM declining to approve the facility. The opening match will see Mighty Wanderers face Karonga United. Pres Majawa reports.
Sulum had written FAM on Thursday requesting an inspection of the stadium, but the association says the request was made less than 48 hours before match day, making it impossible to conduct the exercise. FAM previously banned Kamuzu Stadium due to sanitation issues and other concerns. However, a visit to the venue shows that improvement works are underway, including the installation of substitute benches. In a letter signed by FAM General Secretary Abudu Chiwalo, Sulum has been advised to find an alternative venue for the match. FAM has also warned that failure to comply with club licensing requirements will attract penalties. But speaking to MBC, Sulum General Secretary Williams Banda is adamant that the match will still be played at Kamuzu Stadium despite FAM's position.
The match between Mighty Wanderers and the Karonga United has matured, like other games has all matured, and will be set to launch the CAF game at Kamuzu Stadium. According to FIFA, you never reschedule a game less than 48 hours. So this game has matured. So that's their procedure. We don't mind. But I know most of them are in Blantyre. FAM is at a stone away from Kamuzu Stadium. They can go there and check if they are for football development, that is.
The 2026-2027 FDH Bank Premiership kicks off this weekend and is expected to conclude on 27 February next year. Pres Majawa, MBC Sport, Blantyre.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika says his administration remains deeply committed to delivering essential development to benefit every constituency in the country. Transport Minister calls for increased infrastructure investment in Africa. And Dodma says the 43 million kwacha search and rescue boat to boost disaster response in Chikwawa. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Obile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely morning.
Hello and welcome to the morning weather forecast. Today we expect windy conditions to continue and be partly cloudy over most areas. Rain expected over very few areas, especially over high grounds. But winds will be blowing over Lake Malawi, Malombe and Shira, and the winds will be very strong up to 40 kilometers per hour. Therefore, users should take caution